Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Fragrant King, and today I want to discuss the newest release from Kayali, the Freedom Collection. I have here the Musk Obsessions miniature set. So this is all 4 of the new releases from Kayali. They did a collection kind of like the vacay collection, and now they've made a couple other gift sets that look like this. However, this is of the newest launch, the Freedom Collection. So I'm going to discuss the 4 fragrances, what I think of them, what I have experienced wearing them, and we'll just kind of show them off and go through this together. So stay tuned. Okay, let's dive in and discuss the Freedom Collection. So they do have all of the scents in these little 10 ml bottles. This collection, we actually kind of found out about this really early. So Musk Santal leaked back in June. This was released like October, November. And I want to say when I first saw it, I didn't believe it. I sent it to a couple of my friends because I'm not in the business of leaking businesses, fragrances. I don't do that. I don't do look what's coming. I just review, but I do see the leaks and stuff. And anytime I see anything from Kayali, I'm like, ooh, that's coming. I'm excited. I didn't know it was going to be a whole 4-piece collection. Kind of like with Chocolate Oud and Milky Musk Oud. I didn't know there were going to be 2. I thought originally it was one fragrance that they were describing like a chocolate and a milk mixture, and then it ended up being 2. And that's happened with a lot of Kayali. Like, I feel like Vacation Minis kind of leaked a little early. We all know back in the day, Yum Pistachio was like, I think purposely leaked by the brand, but whatever. It gets people talking. But I can understand how the brand doesn't want all their hard work like leaked out the window. So I think they did a little better with not fully leaking this collection. It eventually came, but I was shocked that we were getting 4 whole fragrances, especially after the 2 new Oudgasms and then the launch of the Kayali website with the relaunch of Musk 12. But Mona and the group had always kind of hinted that there would be more Musks. So I, as a follower of the brand for a while, figured it's just a relaunch of Musk 12, which it ended up being. But I knew there would be something else. Plus, I knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, I saw that bottle called Freedom Musk back in June. But I always kept it in the back of my mind because I did think it was an AI photo, and I thought the bottles were hideous. Like, this was all we saw was this bottle, and it was a very grainy, crappy photo, but we could at least read the name. And I thought, there is no way they're going to do an all nude bottle and like a nude opaque cap. Here we go. We have a whole collection of that. So they did do that. And in person, I like the bottles. They are gradiented. Like, this is your darkest one. And then like Bouquet is your lightest one. They are for individual fragrances, and they're made to complement each other, but they're also made to wear individually. I can see how each one of these works with the other. I don't 100% understand why they launched Freedom Musk Santal as like the hero of the group, like the big group. It got, the 10 ml travel spray, the 1.7, and the 3.4. I think that if they were going to make it a true layering set, they should have just released this and like the discovery set. Freedom Musk Bouquet 27. So this took 27 times to get correct. Let me pop up the fragrance notes on Fragrantica. So this is described as a white floral, sweet, musky, yellow floral, woody, powdery, rose, floral, aldehydic, mineral fragrance. Now, I don't believe all of that's really in there. It says it's got jasmine, ylang ylang, solar notes, pink pepper, musk, Turkish rose, vanilla, sandalwood, praline, and vetiver. So this is predominantly their floral fragrance. I love florals. I am a floral fan, and I love Kayali florals. So when I saw this and read the notes, I thought, okay, Musk Bouquet is going to easily be my favorite. I'm going to like this one. There's not going to be any issues. Everybody that had PR or went to the launch or got it early said they liked this. It was pretty, but it was not for them. I didn't see anybody really rave over Bouquet, but maybe 2 people, and they didn't really rave. They just were like, this is really good. This is pretty. It's unique enough, and it's a good offering from the collection. So I have worn this and I've tested this. I have a little tester right here. I don't need to spray it on paper too much because I know I like this one. With Musk Bouquet, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's in the typical vein of a musky, rosy jasmine fragrance from Kayali. It does not smell like anything else in their line, but it does smell like other fragrances. After wearing it one day to work, and it lasted a while, I got about 8 hours use out of it. I did reapply it, but not heavily, and I mainly only reapplied it because I really like the fragrance and I like the smell, so I wanted it to be a little stronger. But it does linger really well on your skin. Though, to backtrack, the comparisons I did post on my Instagram story, this smells a lot like Narciso Rodriguez's Powdery, which is one of my favorite fragrances. I love that fragrance. I think it's so niche. I think it's just such a niche musky scent. And it also kind of reminds me a tiny bit in that sweet dry down of Donna Born Aroma's The Ivory, the new one that came out, which a lot of people hated because it wasn't gourmand enough. But I loved it because it was more like a powdery, sweet orange floral. This had 4 similar notes to Powdery. It has the jasmine, I think the ylang, the musk, and the Turkish rose. And I think it might even have the vanilla, but I think it has a different rose. It's not Turkish rose. I know it has the vanilla, the musk, the jasmine, and I think the ylang. The roses are different. I think the one is Bulgarian, where this one's Turkish. But regardless, this smells like Powdery. So unique to the Kayali line, yes. Doesn't really smell like another Kayali. It uses some of what Kayali typically uses, but it's not a totally unique fragrance. If you've smelled Powdery or even the new Ivory fragrance or a couple other like musky florals, you probably would be familiar with this. Again, pretty, not bad. I love florals, so I was happy with it, but I will say it does have familiarity. So I like it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's actually my favorite bottle too. I really like how it looks kind of nude and then gets a little warmer. To show you all, I still got to get used to holding this, but to show you this, that's the lids. So it is just like this opaque plastic. I don't love them. I think they could have done the gold neck and then kept this. I just like the gems, but I wish they had done... I'm going to have to look for that because it just went right under one of my cabinets. I do wish they would have done the gold. So, all right, here we have our star of the collection, Musk Santal 34. So this took 34 times to get right, which I feel like they could have done a little more with this. This one I will also start out with the rating. I also give this like an 8.5 out of 10. It's a little more than Bouquet because I actually really enjoy this scent. This scent is gorgeous. So we have a woody, citrus, musky, powdery, aromatic, floral, amber, soft, spicy, fresh, spicy, white floral. I don't get any of the spiciness in this at all. It never dries down or anything into a spicy scent. So the amber, which is listed in this, and the very base notes is very minimal, along with the sandalwood. Sandalwood can be creamy if it's mixed right, and Kayali mixes Kayali's signature accord with sandalwoods and jasmines really well. This one has bergamot, pink pepper, mandarin, freesia, lily, lavender, musk, sandalwood, amber, and vetiver. I don't like lavender typically, but I think if lavender is mixed well enough, it can really work, and it does in this. The freesia, the lily, the musk, and the mandarin are what are really popping for me on this. And they are the same notes that really popped for me in a fragrance that was popularized several years ago, Parfums de Marly's Valea, which now has an exclusive version, just like there's Delina and Delina exclusive, there is Valea exclusive. So I was gifted Valea by my spouse for an anniversary maybe 3 years ago. And while I liked Valea, I found that Valea didn't perform the way I wanted. It didn't last long enough on my skin. It was very pretty, very clean, very grown, very crisp. Smelled expensive. Was very pleased with the smell. I just didn't get what I wanted from it. For it to be the price it was, I was just very let down. So the reason I think this is better is because it's a little more musky. I did swatch it. and it's so much more sweet. Valleya is more citrusy. Valleya is more heavy on like those citrus herbal notes. And again, it's not very strong. I've worn this off and on all week. Like if I wear one of the other fragrances for the day, I'll pick up Santal for the night because I wanted to put a little more time into Musk Santal where it is the full line release. And I'm holding on to some coupons and some discounts. And I'm thinking, do I want to get a full 3.4 ounce bottle of Musk Santal? Because I do enjoy having the full collection. I mean, not crazy that we're only getting 10 mLs of these, but the fact that one of them I could get in a 3.4 ounce, I want it, but I need to make sure I need it and I really, really will use it. And I think I will because I have enjoyed wearing this by itself and I've enjoyed layering it, and I haven't even layered it with everything that there is yet. And it's enjoyable. It's fun to reapply. So I give it just a smidge more than Bouquet, like an 8.5. But it's very nice and layered with Bouquet because I have layered it. I think these two were made to be together. I think these two were made to kind of create your own scent. These two together, this was what I think Mona was doing. I wonder if she was playing around with Bouquet at the same time as Musk Santal because these just go together really, really well. Okay, on to our next one, number 3. And I'm doing these in order, not in the order that I like them. But this is number 3 in the collection, and it is Freedom Musk Matcha number 45. So let's pull up the notes on Mrs. Matcha. Where is she? She's a powdery, lactonic, green, woody, savory, sweet, aromatic, vanilla, musky, fresh, spicy scent. So this is supposed to be Kayali's play on a matcha latte. I've never had a matcha latte. I don't really like matcha tea. I don't like tea in general very much. I do have a few fragrances that have tea in them, and I've tried, and usually I don't like them. One of my favorite tea adjacent fragrances is Still by Jennifer Lopez. Such a good fragrance. I also do like Maison Margiela Replica's Matcha Meditation. And I like Matcha Meditation because it's really sweet and kind of like matcha in its rawest form. This one, Freedom Musk Matcha, is a wannabe matcha, I think. I don't really get a ton of matcha unless it's in the opening. So on paper, the opening is very oat, milk, earthy, and green. On skin, and I'm going to actually skin wear this one because this is the one that I have the most issues with. On my skin, specifically me, I do not like this at all. When I spray it on, it's in the air. I just don't like it. It is like this overwhelming, musky, vetiver, patchouli, milky tea. And I like milky tea to an extent, but more like with a fluffy sweetness. This is not sweet. This is more herbal, herbaceous, aromatic. I do appreciate powdery aromatic fragrances, but they're not my go-to. I will admit that. On skin and paper, they're a little different. I think on paper it's sweeter, but on my skin it is not. Musk Matcha I have the most issues with. To kind of break down the notes, it has got matcha tea, it's got mate, M-A-T-E, maybe mate, bergamot, green apple, oat, milk, vanilla, praline, coffee. I don't get any of the coffee. Musk, sandalwood, amber, patchouli, and vetiver. I heavily get the base notes and then the top notes and then a little bit of that like oat and the milk. I don't really get any vanilla, praline, coffee. I really don't get the green apple. But I definitely get that fresh bergamot, the tea, the milk, the oat, and then that like musky sandalwood. It does not smell good at first, opening on me. I know a lot of people are loving this one. People call it the best one in the collection. They're begging for it to be a large bottle, which is a little frustrating for me because if they release only certain ones in a larger bottle, and this is one of them, I'm going to be pissed because I'm not getting this one. I don't like this one enough. I do want to give it a little more time and I want to layer it. I have not layered this at all. I've only worn it by itself. I will say, to wrap this up, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not terrible because it does smell nice. It's just not my typical scent profile I enjoy wearing. I will say, out of the Freedom collection and out of the overall Kayali collection, this is the most unique fragrance to the collection. I think this is a new vibe for Kayali. And while, yes, it has some similarities to other things out on the market, I think this has enough uniqueness that it's its own thing. So I will give it that. It is probably the most unique out of the four, and it is the most unique to the Kayali lineup. Now, last but absolutely not least, our darkest bottle, the last one in the lineup, Freedom Musk Latte 41. Oh, y'all, Musk Latte. We saved the best for last. This is a warm, spicy, woody chocolate, citrus, powdery, musky, sweet cinnamon, lavender, aromatic fragrance. I did not expect myself to enjoy this to the degree that I do. To the point that if I had not made myself wear the others to really test this collection, I would have worn this every single day since I smelled it. Freedom Musk Latte is a 10 out of 10. 100% perfection. There's not even like a nano bit of anything I would change in this fragrance. But to me, it's a very realistic cafe smell. I think it's interesting because with the ouds, cafe oud is my favorite. I love it. I love that like geranium and that really dense cocoa cafe. Like it smells like espresso. This smells like an already blended sweet sugary latte drink though. And what's really surprising about Freedom Musk Latte is how pretty it is. You would think a latte fragrance is going to be really warm and gourmand. This is more powdery and soft and almost soapy. I will discuss the notes. Our top notes are cinnamon, bergamot, mandarin, and pink pepper. That citrusy is, I think, what makes it really good. Then you got your cafe latte, your lavender, your cypriol, and Turkish rose. Rose is another reason this is soft. And then you've got your chocolate, your sandalwood, your musk, and your cedarwood. That's what anchors it, gives it that little bit of spiciness. But honestly, on my skin and the air, and when I wear it even on paper, that lavender and the Turkish rose and the bergamot really come out to play. And I don't like lavender. So I was a little worried. I'm going to skin test this. It's so good in the air. Yeah, on my skin, booming. Start cafe latte. Like it smells like coffee beans. But then it just dries into this beautiful powdery lavender chocolate. It's so good. It is, to me, the most unique offering that Kayali has ever released, even more so than Matcha. I still think Matcha is more unique to the Kayali line. Like, I don't think they really have anything in the line. This had some similarities to other Kayali fragrances, like the Cafe Oud. I even kind of pick up a little bit of chocolate oud, and I even kind of pick up a little bit of invite only, where Matcha I don't think smells like anything in the Kayali world. This does smell like Replica's Coffee Break, which I had and I liked, but it had too much lavender. It didn't have enough earthiness or sweetness. So that's why when I was done with the Coffee Break, I just had the travel spray. I didn't buy a bigger bottle. This does remind me of that to an extent. So if you like that like lavender, sweet, comforting coffee, this is that, but better. This is way more elevated. There's more chocolate, there's more cafe, there's the cinnamon, there's that rose, there's all the things that Kayali does really well with florals mixed in with this. And that's why this is my favorite in the collection. This is my number one. This is the one I'm begging you, Mona, Kayali, listen to us. Make this at least in a 1.7 because I would buy the fuck out of it. If this was a 3.4, I would be just blessed because this is so good. And just talking with my hand bouncing around, Musk Santal and Musk Latte, I think, are the two best performing. And then Bouquet is like right there with them because Bouquet lasts. Matcha does not last. These two together layered, oh my God. I definitely feel like Mona knew what she was doing when mixing Santal and Latte, Santal and Bouquet. I have not mixed Bouquet and Latte yet, but I feel like it would be too much floral. That's the whole Freedom collection. I think for 4 new fragrances, I like all of them. I really enjoy 2. I feel like Musk Santal and Musk Latte are the best. Not that I don't like Bouquet a lot. It's just familiar, the most familiar. Even though Santal does really smell a lot like Valleja, I don't have Valleja anymore, and I feel like I'm happy to have Musk Santal to replace Valleja. Like, I'm never gonna not have Narcissus Powdery, so if I didn't have a bigger bottle of Bouquet, I'd be okay because I have Powdery. I also want to say that on Bouquet, it does smell like 2 Kayali fragrances. It smells like Silk Santal, and it smells to me a little bit like Maldives because of the ylang, and a teeny bit like Utopia. But majority of this smells like Silk Santal and a little bit of Deja Vu White Flower. Deja Vu White Flower smells a lot like Silk Santal. They have that really sweet, earthy, like almost candy-like bite to them. That like champagne and the freesia and all that. This smells more like Silk Santal than it does Deja Vu White Flower. But it also has those nuances of vanilla cocoa, Utopia vanilla cocoa, and Maldives. But the closest it relates to is Silk Santal. So that is something to say about Bouquet. It is kind of familiar to the line. So while yes, I would probably purchase a 1.7 ounce of Musk Bouquet, if it didn't happen, I don't think I would be devastated. I would be more upset if there wasn't a larger bottle made of Latte. But that's that. So this is my full review of the Freedom Collection, the Musk Obsessions miniature set, and our 4 new Kayalis. There are 3 more Kayalis that are coming. So that's a little tease for you. There are 2 more Kayalis coming to the Eden line, and there's 1 more coming to the Yum line. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully in 2026 we'll get all 3 of those. We should, because they've been licensed, and that's public record. Anybody can find that. I'm not spoiling anything, so don't try to come for me. But that's that. We have more to look forward to. I figure by the end of this year we'll probably get at least 1.7 of one of these, maybe the whole thing, who knows. But it'd be easier for them. They only have to make 3 into a 1.7, whereas Vacation, they had to make them all into a 1.7. So they already have it with Santal. But that's that. I will see everybody in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this. Please like this. It helps me out, and it helps me have the ability to keep pushing for you all, because when you interact, I grow, and I appreciate that. So I'll see you next time. Bye.